Welcome back to Irreverent Business Podcast, where our guests give us an irreverent business hot take, and I say, I 100% agree or I 100% disagree, and then I make them defend it. And it could be anything. We could be talking about how you started your company shipping dildos all across the country. You never know what's going to happen on Irreverent Business. I'm here today with Big Marv, Marvin Kaufman, as no one knows him as, the automation goat. And Big Marv, I want you to give me your irreverent business hot take.
AI will not replace humans like the bro marketers tell you.
You set me up for this one because I 100% do not agree with you. Of course I agree with you. You and I both you've been in the marketing game longer than I have. Let's be real. But you and I have been around bro marketers for a long time.
Yeah.
Which is probably why we're friends now. Tell me why you think that.
Well, not just why I think it, but what my data actually shows me.
Oh, okay. Look at us now. We got the data. All right.
What I'm seeing is the trends. Like, sure, AI helps streamline some things, right? But what I'm seeing is it was already a problem before, right? When automation's introduced into businesses, too many people try to rely on these systems to do all the work and heavy lifting for them. I mean, it's just encoded in human DNA. We want the lowest amount of friction to do anything, the easiest way to do it. That's why Bill Gates liked hiring lazy people as engineers, right? Because us engineers, we're lazy. So we're going to try to figure out the quickest way to do it with the least amount of work, right? And so when businesses are trying to put these automations into place to replace their customer journeys, their onboarding, their entire customer experience, right? Now they're relying on these out-of-the-box AI shit models to run their whole customer journey and business for them. No training, no optimization. And so what we're seeing is people actually falling off and desiring human connection because now the market is starting to get saturated. I think we're still, 3 to 5 years out from complete market saturation. But what I'm seeing is people are actually starting to crave human connection. I'll give you an example just from my business, right? People call me the automation goat. So of course I've tried to automate as many things as I can inside my own business. My onboarding used to be automated. Well, when I went back to doing human onboarding, my retention went up 40%.
Damn.
Because I was able to get on a call, look them in the face, onboard them, set proper expectations of like, this is how the next 3 months is going to go, and make sure they had a full understanding of this journey we're about to go on.
I mean, I can't disagree with you. And I may not have as much data as you because you're a data slut.
Yeah.
But I've got a lot of anecdotes that can support your data. And I do love data. And we've had a lot of conversations here recently about feeding a lot of our data into some of these LLMs and things like that, or throwing into Cloud Cowork. I mean, we were joking about OpenClaw a little bit ago because I have a Mac Mini over there with an M1 chip in it that like apparently became like the hottest commodity in the market because everybody wanted to throw OpenClaw on it. If you don't know what that is, don't worry about it. You can Google it later.
Don't waste your fucking time.
You don't waste your time. It's fine. But a lot of people have had success with it. But I think it's interesting what you're saying is that like you use the word starving for human connection, and that, I mean, oh my gosh, we can talk about this as a cyclical thing throughout human history. Yeah. Where it's like you're seeing automation, you're seeing technology, whatever, replace something. And what I find fascinating, and I got into it a little bit yesterday, someone scheduled a call with me, and I love the pushback on it. They're trying to create AI twins. That's like their big thing. Mm-hmm. And at first they said, I'm trying to create AI twins of gurus so that you can pay for whatever. I mean, somebody on the
Russell Brunson.
yeah, exactly. Russell, and you don't have to pay for a one-on-one with him. You can actually just talk to his AI twin. And I was like, okay, interesting idea. Question the ethics of it a little bit because there's probably some copyright stuff. But then they said something interesting. They said, but what if I could create an AI twin of your most common client that you talk to? And we can now train somebody interacting with your ideal client, your most common objections, all that kind of stuff. And I was like, well, that's an interesting concept. But I pushed really hard. And they said, well, do you use an AI receptionist? I said, no, I pick up my phone. And they were like, really? I said, yeah. The number one comment I get from someone in the Willamette Valley is, I just want to work with someone local, which is funny to me because that is completely not necessary in our industry.
Yeah, no,
Like, it is 100%. Completely not necessary. But they still want to know if they needed to, they could come into my office, we could go meet at a coffee shop, and they could talk shop there. I thought that was so fascinating to me. I was like, they don't even want like a phone tree, like press 1 to talk to Jake, press 2 to talk to.
No, they just want to be able to, hey, Jake. Yeah.
I'm not even available all the time.
Yeah, me either. Like,
the phone.
My clients expect me to take a day or two to call them back, but they know I will call them back and it won't get lost in some loop of automation or shit customer service.
Which is funny because you are the automation ghost. So it's interesting to hear you say that.
Yeah,
What prompted that? Was it a specific situation or was it you just looking at churn rate and data that said I need to do something different?
So, I'm going to rag on the bro marketers here for a minute. When did it...
Some bro marketers are women. Yeah. I want to be clear about that. We don't want to...
When I say bro, this is not... I don't care specific. If you have
want to make
a
sure.
dick or not. You're just...
We want to make sure this is not... We're not genderizing here.
But when did it become a flex to churn clients every 3 months?
Well, they don't talk about that, though.
Like, they don't talk about it directly, right? But if you go to all these masterminds and events and speaking, they're talking about bringing on new clients every month, every 3 months. And, they're getting to 100K months and like, it's cool. Like, it's like a normal fucking thing to expect a client to churn after 3 months. And I'm like,
it's a numbers game.
That's not a fucking flex to me.
It's not.
You know what a flex to me is? I've served this client for 6 years in a row, and they've had me on a 10K retainer. Now that is a flex.
Well, yeah, that's a huge flex.
Like, they've been paying you 6 figures for 6 years straight. You must be doing something right. And so I started digging deeper into that. I'm like, why are they churning people every 3 months? Right? And then I noticed that nobody understands their customer journey, right? Which is something I obsess over, which is like somebody sees your ad, what happens next? So they opt into your funnel, what happens next? So you get on the phone with them, what happens next? You close a deal, what happens next? You send the contract, what happens next? Like, if you talk to most business owners, they can't give you a definitive, this is the process that every single, even though they have one flagship offer, right? Like all the bro marketers tell you, niche down, find one avatar, sell one offer. Even if you do that and you ask them, well, what's the definitive customer journey from opt-in through referral, right? Every business breaks down to lead acquisition, sales, fulfillment, retention, referrals.
Say it one more time.
Lead acquisition, sales, fulfillment, retention, referrals.
And I think we can get lost sometimes in the fact that you and I are both in the digital space, but that's true of any that's
business.
True of HVAC. That's true of a coffee shop owner. You and I just both went and got coffee, which I'll be drinking the whole time we're talking. It could be true of the real estate market.
Yeah, I don't care what business you run. I'm also a principle and framework first guy where like, tell me the principle behind it, because it's not really a principle or a framework if I can't break it down and apply it to any business. It's a fucking hack or a tactic otherwise.
I used to be really militant about if you had a stated value for your company, but you can't tell me how maintaining that value has cost you money, you're not allowed to state it as a value.
Yeah.
That's a separate conversation.
Yeah,
but
we can have a whole podcast on that.
Until somebody says, "Oh, we have a value of being transparent." I go, "Great. How has that cost you money? How has maintaining that transparency cost you?" And they're like, "Well, it hasn't." I go, "Great. Take it off your list."
Yeah, that's a good point.
So that's a different one, though. But we're talking about, again, customer journey,
in that customer journey. And so they don't have the definitive thing. So as I started helping more agency owners and we dial in, I'm seeing, okay, you have a 70% churn rate, which for those of you listening is not a good churn rate.
This is not golf.
That is not good.
We don't want, yeah.
And so
even 30% churn rate is hard to keep the lights on.
So you start digging in and you're like, okay, when are they leaving? Like, when are you losing them? Right? What's your onboarding experience like? How often are you meeting them? How often are you setting expectations? And I found out, if they go through automated onboarding, they have automated reports, they have no human reach outs. Like, literally everything is done through a ticketing system or some fucking VA that don't even understand what the hell they're doing. They're just sending these reports because it's on their SOP to do so. And then they get to the end of the 90 days and they're like, hey, here's your very generic fucking reports that this shitty tool spit out for you. I can't actually explain what happened over the last 90 days, but here you go. You want to keep paying me $2,500 a month?
What's interesting is how many marketing conferences I've been to that have a seminar on like how to exit your agency, how to have your agency run without you, and that's the stuff that they're talking about. They're like, you have to automate this stuff. You can't take every client meeting.
Okay.
You're like, you are welcome to do that.
Get client success managers. It doesn't have to be you.
I get that, but I'm just saying, like, this is what's interesting is you're thrown under the bus, though. You're thrown under the bus, but it's being taught at like almost every seminar.
Exactly. That's why I said, when did it become the norm, right? Like, when did it become a flex? Like, why is this poison in our industry like the accepted? Like, how many fucking clients have you talked to where they're like, I already tried this and it doesn't work? And it's because they hired some shit agency and they've gotten burned on 2 or 3 agencies. Yeah. And then by the time they get to somebody who gives a fuck, they're broke. Taste in their mouth. Yeah. And they have a bad taste in their mouth. It's the number one. I mean, it's like, I've got my book floating around here, Digital Marketing Sucks. It's the number one barrier with prospects is trying to gain their trust of the industry. And there's so many variables in it, which is so frustrating, is that it's like, I equate it to real estate a lot, because from the outside looking in, a lot of real estate agents look like they do the same thing. Yeah. But there's different levels of experience, different levels of expertise, different levels of gosh, so many things, right? But it's like if someone's like, hey, I'm going to try Google ads, and I tried it and it didn't work. And then you dig into it and find out they weren't set up correctly. I just assessed a campaign recently, $750 a month they were paying this guy. And he made 2 changes in a year to the Google ads and didn't have any conversion tracking set up. No wonder it didn't work.
Shocker.
You don't know what's fucking working or what's not working.
Where, I think there's a responsibility for us to be educators as well.
Oh, 100%. Like, every time I get on a call with somebody, right? Like, because people always want to know. I literally just had a sales call yesterday. It was this gal. She runs like a pop-up shop in New York. It's like at a flea market or a mini mall or some shit like that, where she's selling licensed jerseys. And she wants to go online, right? She saw some fucking bro marketer, somebody on TikTok saying how easy it is to just set up an online store and sell this shit. And I'm like, well, the internet's not magical. You can set up an e-com store in an hour, but without traffic, you're not selling shit.
How'd this person get a hold of you?
Through my paid ads that you guys run for me.
There you go. Oh, shameless plug.
But
someone, hold on, I got to mark that down as a conversion. Where's my pen? Damn it. That's hilarious.
And so I'm talking to her. One, she has zero budget to actually hire anyone.
Classic, yeah.
Right. So, and she's like, well, I can come up with the money, right? Because obviously I quoted her for, we can build your Shopify store, set up Klaviyo, set up these automations so we have tracking and see what happens. You're going to have to drive traffic, though. And then I set expectations like, hey, when you start running paid ads, if this is a fresh account and you've never run ads before, it takes $3 to $5K in ad spend just to get a retargeting audience. And it's going to take you another $3 to $5K in ad spend to turn that retargeting audience into a predictable math problem. So you're going to need to bleed $8,000 to $10,000 and be comfortable with that investment. You're going to make sales in between. It just won't be a predictable math problem, which is what we're after. Every facet of the business is how can we turn that into a math problem, right? I put $100 in, I get this out. And so, I was like, and that's not including paying the retainer, because if somebody's running these ads for you, whether it's me or somebody else, they have to be on a retainer. You got to pay for their time and expertise. And that $3 to $5K in ad spend is just because we've run over $10 million in ads, so we know how to spend $3 to $5K to get that result. If you've never run ads before, it might cost you more. It actually most likely will cost you more. And so as I'm breaking these numbers down to her, she's like, okay, well, I can come up with the money and float it. How quickly before I'm making sales? I'm like,
always the next question. Yeah.
I don't fucking know. There's nobody on this planet. I don't care how fucking good you are. Nobody on this planet can guarantee you're going to make X sell.
YouTube videos, Marv, where people can tell you that you can
say as much as you want, motherfucker. But I've seen it all.
This a lot. I brought this up to someone today. I had a call with an insurance agent that wants to come shoot content in here, and they want to set themselves apart. And I made the comment to them. I grew up in Alaska. I grew up around fishing. I was a terrible Alaskan. I don't like snow. I don't like being cold. Whatever. I worked at skateboard shops and whatever else. But I understand fishing. And one of the things I told them is you can know everything there is to know about fishing. But unless you have gear, you have the best gear.
You have a fish finder.
You can have open claw. But unless you have a hook in the water, you will not catch fish. And so I made that claim to them. And I said, also, I would love to be able to just reach in the water and pull fish out for you. That would be fantastic. But that's not realistic because we're dealing with humans. We're dealing with human beings. And I made the comparison to another guy we were talking with is fencing and roofing and decks and everything else. And I said, look, he was like, I got to get on social media. And I said, I just don't know a lot of people following roofers because it's fun, unless they're a hilarious roofer.
Yeah.
However, if I got a leak in my roof or I need a roof replaced or I need a new deck or whatever, chances are I'm going to go to Google. I'm going to go search for it. It's going to be high intent. It's going to be all of those things. I got to know where I need to put the fish hook or else this isn't going to work out well. And chances are if you go the fishing guide, there's a chance they're going to go at the right time. They're going to have the right bait for the right fish, all that kind of stuff. There's a better chance you're going to catch fish and bigger fish than if you just go out there and do it yourself.
100%.
And they were like, okay, I get it. I was like, here's the quote. Because at the end of the day, there's got to be some value to it, right? But it's interesting for her. I mean, what did she think? Was she like, that's a big risk for a storefront?
I actually wouldn't take her money, right? Okay. Because I'm not that dude. I'm not going to take your last 10 grand. I'm going to tell you ways that you can go spend that 10 grand in a better way, put you in a position to come back and give me 10 grand because now the better way I told you just made you 40.
So where in that situation do you point her?
And so I host my free workshops every week. I'm like, hey, come in, jam on the workshop. I'll teach you how to build the store. I'll teach you how to automate it. I can teach you how to set up some simple ads to drive traffic. If all you got is 10 grand in your bank account and this shit's got to make it or break it for you in the next 6 months, like I'm not taking the money because there's other ways that you can deploy it to make it work for you. You know, now if I was a bro marketer, I would have fucking sold her on a retainer anyways, and they got to the 3 months and said, sorry, it didn't work out. Good luck on the next one, you know, but I'm just not that dude. And so for her, it surprised her and she was very thankful. And
that's cool.
You know, maybe she comes back, maybe she doesn't, but you know, I'm not here to take people's money. Like,
okay, so you're obviously neither of us are big fans of the bro marketers, and bro marketers still they've changed the way they look, they've changed the way they act, like from what they did 10 years ago. There's still some out there, but I think people can smell bullshit from a mile away.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, okay.
Now there's been so many examples you can sniff it out.
And it was like, I want to give a shout out to my buddy Adam McChesney, because he posted something today I thought was really poignant. Is he goes, it went from funnels to NFTs to like, he just went down the list of all of the like shiny object gold rush things. And now people are selling AI prompts and different things like that, and it's just it's so much less about the stability of anyone's company. I mean, including these guys that are and gals, they're kind of bro marketer mentality here. Like, I just want to make a quick buck, and then I'm going to reinvest in whatever the next thing is. What do we need to keep our eyes out for as business owners? What's coming next that's going to be the big?
It's going to be these agentic bots, right? Like the open clause that we were talking shit about right before this. Even Google and OpenAI, they're all the big dogs. Like, if you want to know what's coming, look at what the big dogs are doing,
What they're investing in.
and where they're investing in, where their money's going.
Where's their money going, Marv?
And so they are trying to come up with like, what's the easiest way that they can put these agents out there. And when I mean agents, I don't just mean a fucking AI bot that you can call and it can book appointments for you. I mean one that's why people are investing in Mac Minis, because it's a full standalone computer. You can log into all your shit, and
it's a private server,
it can run
man.
everything for you.
Yeah, it's a
right?
private server, but it's a new version of it. I mean, it's because people are having their teams log in remotely to that one Mac Mini.
Yeah.
And it stores all the company information, and it's processing it overnight.
But it's also risky, right? Like, okay, so I'm a programmer. I know, and if I know that I'm dealing with an open claw agent instead of a human, I know how I can prompt that thing to make it do stuff for me that you're not going to think to safeguard against it. And so that's what the big companies are working on now, is how can they deploy to the general non-technical public agentic bots that can do these things for them
with better security.
And so that's going to happen. And then you're going to see all these people sinking their time. But here's where it circles back to understanding your customer journey. And you can see this, like, the key to scale is process, right? When you're trying to remove yourself from the business, right? How many people come to you and they're like, I'm the CEO of this company. And you're like, okay, tell me what your day-to-day is like. They're working 50, 60 fucking hours a week. Bro, you're not a CEO. You have an underpaying job. until you're just
a very expensive hobby.
Until you're just until you're just a face of the company moving the needle and you have a team executing for you, you are not a CEO. Right? And so
yeah, I 100% agree.
Good.
That was your Reverend Business hot take number 2.
And so people are constantly looking for ways to get out of it. And now they're like, okay, I want to delegate, but I can't afford to delegate yet. They can't hire people, but maybe they can afford, $1,000 and set up a Mac Mini open claw bot that can do things for them. But they haven't fucking created processes for anything yet, right? It's the number one disappointment that I see that people have, like, how VAs don't work or VAs are shit or this or that. And then you ask them, like, hey, well, where's your SOPs? Where's your processes? Right? And I was this asshole 5-6 years ago. I'd hire a graphic designer and I didn't have any processes for them to follow. They were just a graphic designer. And so they're like, I don't need to tell you how to do your fucking job. You're a graphic designer. Do your fucking job. Right? And so I'd get mad at them. And really, I was just being a shit leader and not giving them the thing. So you see it when people try to hire humans and they say the humans suck, when really you suck dick as a leader. You are just a terrible leader. Admit it. Put some processes in place. Set them up for success. So when a human comes into your business and you give them true processes to follow. That's how you eliminate yourself having to do that job and worry about it. The same thing's going to happen with robots. They're going to invest this money in these agentic bots. It's going to be a shiny fucking toy that they can never get to run right because they haven't spent the time to define what is the customer journey that this robot needs to actually fucking do to keep these people happy. And then humans are going to become smarter, where they can detect, oh, I'm talking to an agent, I'm not talking to a human, and it's going to dismay them. Then you're going to see a switch in the market. I'm calling it right now.
Calling it right here.
In 2028, 2029, you're going to see people start hiring humans again. They're going to start paying higher retainers, because I would rather have Big Marv's cell phone and pay him thousands of dollars a month to know that every time I call that number, I'm going to get Big Marv and I'm not going to get some fucking robot.
There was someone recently that posted that they included a prompt in their LinkedIn bio so that when people were using AI to scrape profiles for hiring, he would know it was a robot that did it, because he would get a message from them that included like a flan recipe.
Yeah. See, that's the type of stuff I'm talking about.
People are already playing with it. They're already making fun of or understanding. And I made this statement recently. I spoke at a Chamber of Commerce event, and I still stand by it. I said, I think AI was meant to supplement the human experience, not replace it. And that happened with the internet. That happened with so many different things, right? You're seeing this, you know, people have been pushing self-driving cars. They've been there's just so many things that we're trying to do to make our life easier. And it's not.
We're going to end up like those fatties on Wall-E.
I'm gonna move. I made a joke about this recently because never mind. I went to a theme park recently and it felt like that. It felt like Wall-E. But it's just, this is a Reverend business, ladies and gentlemen.
Who goes to Wet and Wild in a fucking electric wheelchair? I digress.
Coffee break.
But no, it's
we're 20 minutes in. Well, I want to revisit something you said, because you're like process. 5 years ago, I didn't have it. I was a shit leader, all this kind of stuff. How did you begin the process of creating processes, and where does somebody start? Is this them just sitting down with a pen and paper and just bootstrapping this shit, or is there something that can guide them to be like, I need to be more specific about this?
Nobody has fucking time to do it that way, right? In a perfect world, sure, you can dedicate an hour a day to be like, what's something I need to process, right? But most CEOs are wearing 47 fucking hats, so every day is different for them, because most business owners, I'm going to use business owner instead of CEO when I describe these people, but most business owners, they live reactively. They don't live proactively. They're not time blocking and saying, this is exactly what I'm going to do with my day. They're waiting for shit to hit the fan and reacting all day.
I resemble that remark. So tread lightly.
Hey, maybe I need to work with you. But just start recording yourself. That's what I did, right? So there's like Loom where,
right.
So now every single time my team reaches out to me saying, hey, Marv, can we hop on a quick Zoom? I need you to walk me through this. Or they ask me a question, how can I do this? I'm going to go ahead and fix the problem, but I'm going to record myself on Loom doing it, send that to my executive assistant and say, turn this video into an SOP, boom, we're done. And if you don't have an executive assistant to send it to, you can use tools like Scribe now.
I love Scribe.
Which will help turn that into a step-by-step, this is how to do it.
Are you familiar with Little Bird? No. It's a really not as known. You have to give it access to your entire computer, but it just watches literally everything you do all the time.
See, I'm too paranoid for that.
So I started testing it, and what I'll do is in the day I'll say, is there anything I forgot about? And it'll go through and just be like, hey, I saw this come across your screen. I saw this come across your screen. Like, did you take care of that? Super helpful. Scary as hell.
Yeah.
But again, my point is, if you don't have an executive assistant,
yeah, that's an easy tool.
There's easy tools like that. Again, Scribe, Loom, probably the best for that.
It'll take a while. Right. And I say do this even before you're ready to hire. Right. Like,
could not agree more.
If
I've made this mistake.
If I knew this going into hiring, because I have a team of like 18 now.
Yeah.
But if I knew going into it, like, I'm going to need these processes, I would have started doing it before I could afford to hire anyone.
Yeah.
Right. So, because basically you make this video bank. You can literally, I use High Level for everything, but this is just out of convenience. It doesn't have to be on High Level. It could be in a fucking Google Drive. It could be in ClickUp. It could be in Monday. But basically, every time you create one of those little videos, you file it away. File it, administration, graphics, website, clients, whatever the fuck it falls under.
You put it in a course layout?
Yeah, put it in a course in the memberships in High Level, right? And then just don't grant access to
Everybody.
anyone. Because my team has access to the sub account, they're admins. They can just go access the course and watch it. And so,
dude, the value of that course, I bet, is very high.
Yeah, this is literally how I run my entire company. So,
your entire company is in a course.
Is in a course. But that's also what enabled me. Like, I cleared my entire day to drive down here to do a podcast. If you ask the average business owner, have I looked at my phone one time since I've been here?
No, you have not.
The average business owner, can they just ditch at 12 o'clock in the afternoon and not think about their phone or their business the rest of the day?
No, you blocked out 4 hours to come to the studio today. That is, I mean, people are planning vacations months in advance. And still, the 4 hour block leading up to their vacation, they're tied into it.
Yeah. Or they're on the plane, like, fuck, what did I forget? They get to the hotel. Hey, honey, you want to go check out the beach? Just 1 second. I got to finish this shit. Yeah. Like,
so you're saying process, SOP, freedom.
Exactly. Is as simple as cheesy, but it's as simple CRM. Connect, remove, multiply. Connect.
That's really cheesy.
It is fucking cheesy, but
it's not good.
It's memorable.
No, but it's memorable. Connect,
remove, multiply. So bring it back to my first point. You reconnect with your audience, right? AI. 100% agree with you. AI is meant to supplement, not replace human interaction. I probably have 100 videos saying that exact line. Connect with your audience. I bet you guys have 6 figures of sales in your pipeline right now from people that you just fucking forgot about. You sent them 2 emails and was like, they're not interested. Didn't nurture them. Yeah. Connect with those people as and bring in more sales. Remove yourself from the equation by creating processes and delegating 90% of your day. If you're the business owner and you want to actually become a CEO, your only job should be in the face of the company, shaking hands, networking, creating content. Like, what's going to move the needle in your business? That's where your focus should be. If you're still building funnels, you're not a CEO yet. Maybe you're on your way there. And then multiply, because you can't multiply and scale the company until you have process, right? Like, if you're still the only salesperson at your company and you don't bring in more revenue because you are personally not on the phone making sales, I'm sorry, you're still not a CEO yet. Right? You can't multiply the company because you take a sick day, then that's one less day your company has to take shots on goal, right? Because that's the key of making more revenue, taking more shots on goal. And like if you're not available to do sales calls because you're the only motherfucker doing sales, then you can't multiply the company.
What are your like non-negotiable KPIs that you're tracking all the time? Like if you were to pick out like your 2 to 5, you're like, dude, that's it. Is it number of discovery calls? Is it number of proposals sent? How do you set that up?
I'm looking at lead acquisition. How much does it cost to get a lead not only in the door but booked on the calendar, right? How many of those calls do I have to take before I get a conversion? And then how quickly am I launching that person to making an ROI? Right. So if somebody comes in, they buy our flagship offer, the dual funnel system. Yeah. My goal is to launch them within a week. I want them making 3 to 4x ROI in 3 weeks. Because if I can make them a 4x ROI on their investment in sub 30 days, I'm going to retain them forever. And so that's how many people do you talk to that actually track that number? Yeah. How quickly do I get ROI for this client I just onboarded? And so that's what I'm looking at. Cause like right now I'm actually in the process of replacing myself as the salesperson. Now the only sales calls I take are like really high net worth networking and partnerships. I have sales reps that are selling the DFS for me. Now, I close the DFS at 80 to 90%. They're only closing like 40 to 50%, which is still pretty solid, right? That's the other thing that trips business owners up is they're like, they can't close as good as me. Nobody's ever going to close your shit at 90% like you do. Like, it's your thing. But if you can get a sales rep closing at 50% plus, that's solid. You can scale the business at 50%.
Yeah.
Right. And then
that's so tough. It's so tough as an owner operator to get that perspective. And I really think it is the difference between people that can grow by addition and people that can grow by multiplication is the ability to delegate and understand expectations involved with it. There's that saying that, you know, the 80% rule, if someone can do something 80% as well as you need to hand it off to them.
Yeah, 100%.
You're even saying like, man, I'd even be willing to move a little further than that. They can do 50% as well or close at a 50% rate.
Yeah, because look at the average. Like if you actually look at statistics on sales reps and sales, like average in our industry is what, 20%, 30% maybe.
Yeah,
like a really good sales guy is going to be 30%.
Well, and
right?
Yeah, again, it's, gosh, and also you're looking at like nurturing length. Like in real estate, it's 18,
how many
18 months to 3 years that you're nurturing before someone even makes a deal. So it all depends on industry, but yeah, in ours, it's easy. And I've noticed this too. And I'm curious to hear if you have seen this as well. We used to have about a 2-week sales window and that has turned into almost 2 months. And I'm seeing that because in this economy, you're seeing business owners move a little bit slower. Being a little more cautious to where I've got people who said, I will be moving forward with you guys. Can you give me 3 months? I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, and okay. You check in with them every week.
Well, exactly. You do check in with them. But they actually said, like, I will even sign the contract with you. I just need to get a couple things cleared up. And I was like, wow, that is very different than what I've experienced over the last decade.
Yeah. I think even when I signed on with you guys, I took like 3 or 4 weeks. And it wasn't because I didn't have the money and wasn't ready. It was because I had some shit I had to get in order.
Right.
You know,
I mean, that's also very human too. I want to be clear about that. And it's one of the things that I tell people all the time where I'm like, one of them was going to sign today. And she goes, but I'm going on vacation. I go, great. Just sign when you get back.
Yeah, exactly.
She's like, oh, really cool. That's awesome.
Yeah. I was like, hey, you're either going to sign with me and we're going to work together.
Would I like to have the money today? Absolutely. I'd love to have the money today, but
I think something we have to remember,
trust you got to build, right?
Is one, I'm not desperate. I pick and choose who I'm going to work with, but two, I'm not just trying to work with you for 3 months. I'm trying to work with you for 10 years. Right. So if you need 3 weeks, fuck off. Right. I'll be here when you get back. But yes, I am seeing that. Like 5 years ago, it used to only take 6 to 12 touch points to get somebody to move. Right. And then typically by the time they're on my calendar, because we run top of funnel, middle funnel, bottom of funnel ads, that 6 to 12 is there. That's why.
Can you explain that to anybody that doesn't know what top of funnel, middle?
People buy people. They don't buy products and services, right? So when you're breaking down your offer, there's top of funnel, which is, hey, and you got to build up, like people buy from people they know, like, and trust. Right. All right, so top of funnel is just giving them some value, introducing them to some of your wave patterns and the way that you think. It's
awareness.
It's just building awareness, exactly, of like, hey, I'm this guy and this is what I do and this is how you can do it too, right? And then middle of funnel.
Sound like a pro marketer.
Middle of funnel, it goes a step past awareness, but you don't have a call to action yet. You're just introducing the solutions that you've seen that fix the things you're talking about in your top of funnel, right? And then the bottom of funnel is buy my shit. Like,
yeah, we call it
book a call with me.
Let's make it happen. Awareness, education, conversion.
Exactly. Yeah, that's
this exists.
Good way.
This is why it could be helpful to you, or even like this is what it does.
Yeah.
I mean, when you talk to people that are insurance agents that are constantly competing on just premium, it's literally just like people. I mean, they're like Liberty Bibberty or Geico, or like they don't care, honestly.
Yeah,
They just want to
what's the cheapest one?
what's the cheapest one, right? But there's an education component and this is exactly why you've had like farmers that did like, hey, this is a museum of all the things that you never thought could have happened. And it's like people's legs through the ceiling because a contractor walked through it. Or it's, avoid mayhem like me. And it's the guy acting like he's a raccoon in somebody's attic. Mm-hmm. It's an extreme example.
Perfect middle of funnel.
Brilliant though, in middle of the funnel, to where this isn't just the boring like TED Talk kind of stuff of like, well, let me explain to you why insurance is whatever, or well, let me explain to you why marketing is good. It's like, no, let's talk about
why do we use marketing in the first fucking place,
and the risk of not using it. Yeah. This is the risk of not having a hook in the water. And so again, like anyone who's listening to this conversation, whether they're in marketing or not, needs to understand that like when you are so deep in your industry, it could be education, by the way. Like we had a conversation recently with a fairly significant online education course. They're so immersed in this world all the time that we get so stuck in industry insider talk and passion about our industry. And I know people that have jumped from industry to industry, and then you see them at a restaurant, you see them at a party, whatever. They're so passionate about whatever industry they're in now. And I'm like, God, I didn't know anything about that. And so it's like, I think we have to remove ourselves from that sometimes and look at it objectively and be like, okay, I care about marketing because it literally feeds my kids.
Yeah.
Like there's a very tangible, like my kids are able to have, clothes and resources and they can play sports because marketing works well for me. Like you get to that personal level. Yeah. I digress a little bit. That's your middle of the funnel. Like,
and that's where you're going to get most of your engagement and people moving. And if you have a good team behind your paid traffic, by the time people see your middle or bottom of funnel, they're ready to convert.
They're pretty ready to go.
Because you've already shown 50 engagement things to them, right? Because statistically speaking, these days it's like 30 to 60 touch points to get people through. And it's because we're so inundated with so much content and bullshit, and AI unfortunately has extrapolated that because everybody's using fucking AI for everything. Like, lucky for me, I have so many tattoos that AI don't know how to recreate me yet. So I can't create an AI avatar of myself.
I'm still recreatable. I need. Okay. Well, we're gonna have to figure.
You have nothing on your neck, so you can at least do a hoodie with.
I was gonna get like a grizzly bear so that I had a bear chest. That's a bad joke. I apologize.
Hey, I have a cock on my arm.
Do you really? You do. In fact, there is a rooster on your arm. So getting to that point, because probably one of the questions I get most when I give seminars, which is kind of funny because I think when people are online, they don't ask this question. In person, number one question I get is, where is the best channel for my money?
All of them are the best channel.
You're an omni-channel guy, huh? You like put it everywhere.
So it depends on a few things, right? What's your budget? What's your goal? Right now, I will say this, like all social media algorithms are engineered the same. Period. TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, all the algorithms are engineered the same. However, different people hang out in different places, and your goals are going to be different. Like PPC is completely different. You're not
PPC means pay per click.
You're not.
That's your Google Ads. That's your YouTube.
You're not fighting an algorithm with PPC.
You're fighting bidding.
You're fighting people bidding on certain phrases, and it's like, what's the likelihood that somebody's going to type in this exact phrase in my area looking for this thing? So it's completely different. And if you're a local service provider, and most roofers or landscapers or fucking plumbers and insert local service aren't going to be the people that are like, hey, I'm on a roof today fucking doing this shit. They're not going to be making content.
If they're entertaining or they're edutaining.
Yeah,
maybe. But I think most home service
let's
providers
be real, 80-90%
are not
doing that.
Yeah, and I couldn't.
And so PPC might work better for them because their goal is I just need somebody to
They have to invest.
roofer blah blah blah, and they have to have the
invest.
money.
And that's the biggest thing that I've got a couple of people reach out to me because we work nationally, but also I've really taken, this is why Oregon Business Conference came into existence. I wanted to take care of our community. Right?
Yeah.
And you and I live in different communities, but still the Willamette Valley. And it was important to me that as like resources were available. But I've had a lot of people reach out to me lately. Our SEO, we've invested really heavily in Oregon. I'm getting more and more phone calls. And it's the common theme I hear is like, hey, can you do Google ads for me? I'm like, well, how big is your business? Like, it's one guy.
And I can spend $500 a month. I'm like,
yeah, and I'm like,
my retainer's double that, so I'm not going to get you the return on investment.
What do you say to somebody in that situation?
In that situation, I tell them, just like in the Facebook ad situation, right? I tell them some is better than none, right? The internet is not a magical place, right? I can't tell you how many websites I've built where they're like, Marv, website looks great. I love it. I'm not getting any more business. Well, are you driving any fucking traffic to it? Because it's not like you build a website and all of a sudden they're going to come.
I call it the field of dreams mentality.
Exactly.
If you build it, they will come.
So if your budget is like $500 and you want to run Google ads, like use the Google fucking guide and it will walk you through how to set up some basic shit and
if you want
and get some calls come in and Google will give you a Google rep that will fucking sit down with you. It's not going to work as good as like hiring somebody like Wellwood to run your PPC, right? But if you're not in a position yet, so my rule of thumb is you should be spending 15% gross revenue on your marketing every month.
Dude, I completely agree. I've said this for a very long time. I say it's 7 to 10 if you want to maintain, because some people can't, the capacity, bandwidth, they can't necessarily grow.
But they can maintain.
And I go 7 to 10% of your gross monthly income goes to that. If you want to push, it's 15 to 20.
Exactly.
So
now let's talk about those numbers in a real live example. You're making 10 grand a month. 15% is 1,500. An agency worth their salt is going to be paying a minimum $1,500 a month retainer.
Our most common is $1,750.
And that's not including ad spend. Correct. So
and that's two services. So we're actually under.
Yeah, you guys, it actually surprised me. Yeah. For those that are curious, Wellwood does not charge me enough for what they do for me. And so
prices are going up tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen.
And so if you're only making 10K, your budget is realistically only 1,500, then you need to just fumble through the shit, and because you're not ready to hire an agency. Because that's the other thing people look at. They're like, oh, I'm at 10K now. I can hire somebody to do this. And I'm like, you'd have unrealistic expectations. Or you're going to go without paying yourself. You're going to make cuts somewhere. Yeah. But realistically, you're just not going to get an ROI. Or like the e-com girl, right? I told her, like, spend $20 a day on Facebook ads. Yeah. They're not going to be as good as hiring an agency, but you're not as a way.
For God's sake,
run some traffic.
Your traffic, yeah. And that I've preached this for a long time. I've even considered doing like some small webinar, something like that. I'm just like making sure that people's tracking is set up correctly. Like, so you've got analytics, you've got,
and there's so many guides and everything to walk you through that.
Maybe that's something I need to put together, because it's like even Microsoft Clarity is just so much better in their reporting than Google Analytics, even though I'm not going to be focusing on Bing ads too much. We have run them, and we've done it in specific situations, especially different countries. Like we have clients in several different countries. For some reason, like Microsoft Bing is.
Well, it's because it is the default on
a lot of platforms.
Microsoft, like Windows 11 default browser is they don't call it Explorer anymore. Edge, they call it Edge now. And then Bing is the default search engine, and then when you use Microsoft Copilot, Bing is the default search engine. So that's why you're seeing in a lot of other countries, because they're not going in and changing the defaults to something else. So
but again, getting all of that on your website costs $0.
Yeah,
it's just a snippet. Just a snippet of code.
Getting pixel tracking is free. And Facebook literally has an AI robot that walks you through installing and testing the shit.
Yeah.
Right. Google put in GA4 on your website is 100% free. And there's literally countless. You can ask ChatGPT how to do it and it'll walk you through it. And so I
think this is a good conversation because again, not everyone that's going to be listening to this is going to be at whatever. Typically, it's about a $300,000 a year threshold. It's typically the companies that will reach out to us.
Yeah.
And it's because as soon as you hit that $25K a month, I don't care what industry you're in, you are spread too thin now.
Yeah.
Like almost.
Especially if you don't have a team.
Correct. And so that's an interesting place. Let's talk about the next wave. So again, someone comes to you and they're like, hey, I want to spend this kind of money. And you're like, hey, not going to work. When someone gets to that point where they're like, this is going to be tight, but I'm going to be able to make it work. Do you look at their process before you start pushing everything else? Like, do you make them defend their product and their process? Because that's something that it's why, and I hate saying nice things about Todd on recorded calls because he's like, hey, can I have a copy of that? One of the reasons I brought Todd on as a business consultant at Weldwood is I was getting people coming to us and they were saying, hey, I need to cancel services. And I was like, why? I was like, you're getting like a between an 8 and 13x return on your Google ads. What is happening?
I can't handle it.
And either that or they're saying like, I've got issues internally I got to take care of. They don't say it like that. They're like, well, I got some stuff going on.
You just know.
I'm like, well, what is it? And they're like, well, my lease agreement is an issue, or I've got staffing issues, or I've got whatever, because growth inevitably reveals inconsistencies and cracks in your business. And I've experienced this in 3 different times where we've had a growth and all of a sudden I was like, uh-oh. And we had to restructure, whether it was staffing or processes or whatever. So when someone comes to you and they're like, hey, I'm at 30K a month, I want to get to 50K a month. How much do you ask them to reveal the back end of their company?
Oh, that's step 1. If we don't get clarity there, we're not working together. It's step 1.
But that extends the sales cycle.
I don't give a damn. I'll have 6 fucking calls with you. But I'm also in a different position.
Do you ask though? What kind of questions do you ask them? Or you don't ask for P&Ls, do you? You ask for financials?
No. They either have it or they don't. I'm very transparent about my pricing. That's bit me, and it's also done great things for me. It's done more great things than bit me though. But I'm putting people on 5-figure retainers, right? If they're hiring me as a consultant to work with them weekly, like you're paying $10K plus a month for me to work with you. I don't care if I'm making 4 to 6 sales calls with you to make sure we're a great fit and we align, because it's a huge commitment. And so remember how I was telling you, you can't distinctly tell me what happens every step of the way, because when I'm consulting for a business, my goal is to turn every facet of the business, all 5 sections, into a math problem. Need more leads? Turn this dial. Need more bookings? Turn this dial. Need more referrals? Turn this dial, right? Like I should be able to turn a dial with a math problem for every facet of the business. And if they don't know what that math problem is, we got to go step by step. I want to know what automations are in place or not in place. Who on your team, like give me your company structure. Who all is on your team? What are their roles and responsibilities? Who does what on a day-to-day basis? What's your schedule look like as the business owner? Do you have anybody else in executive seats? Who are your managers? How big are your teams? Like who reports to who? And let's define the process. Because until I have clarity on that, I can't recommend shit.
Yeah.
Right? Like there's so many people out there, and trust me, I like high level. I love high level. 90% of my customers get high level builds. But high level isn't like the perfect thing for every business under the sun. Right? Their existing tech stack might actually be perfect, and they're just underutilizing it. All right. So until you get complete clarity on where they at as a business, where are their processes, where are the potential pitfalls, then I don't know where I can help you. Because remember, one of my goals is how can I 10x your ROI with me in 30 days or less, right? So if you're going to drop 10K, that means I need to make you 100K in the next 30 days. Well, if I don't have clarity on that process,
that's gonna be a
I
problem.
don't know the low hanging fruit where I can flip that lever, right? I'm looking for what's the asymmetrical lever that I can flip that's going to give me a huge result, and with the least amount of time and effort. And so when I'm working with a business or potential business, and these are my people, I don't want to just work with them for 3 months. I want to work with them for life. And so I just take the extra time to make sure I understand it. And if we're not a good fit, I have a huge network. If I can't do it, I guarantee you I got somebody in my network that can.
And that's what I think is interesting too, is that the online industry is so competitive. There's a lot of shit talkers too.
Yeah.
And
Collaboration is stronger than competition.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And we used to say a long time ago, we used to say, like, we don't have any competitors. And people go, what do you mean? I was like, we're all different on the inside of the company. And there's a good chance it doesn't matter if it's another industry specific marketing agency or whatever. It's like you're going to get a different experience with them. And that's a tough one for sure. Do you have any sort of guarantees? Do you have any sort of, you're just like, hey, this is the process. It's been tested and proven. What if it doesn't work for someone?
Define doesn't work.
What if you can't 10X in 30 days? Is that just a goal?
It's a personal goal of mine internally.
It's not something that
it's not something that is in my offer.
Because I get that request. People go, do you have any guarantees? And I go, yeah, we're going to do our best.
I guarantee you that I'm going to save you time.
Yeah.
Right. The thing that I sell is the commodity you can't get, which is time. I don't give a fuck if you got $1 million in the bank. You're not buying back yesterday. Right? And the average business that we are hired to automate, we save them 15, 20 plus hours a week. Right.
What's the most common things you guys are automating for people?
The 5-minute task. You know, what's that 5-minute thing that you do manually?
Data input,
data entry, scheduling, responding to emails, text messages, reminders, sending contracts, sending invoices, all those little 5-minute things that you do that you're like, I'll just do it manually. Because you don't think it's a big deal because you don't do the math. Right? Remember, I'm obsessed with math. And so I'm like, well, you do that 5-minute thing 20 times a day. Right? Now, how many hours a week are you spending on that 5-minute thing? And then how many of those 5-minute things are you doing a day? Right? Because that's only one 5-minute thing that you're doing 20 times a day. But if you're doing 5-minute things 20 times a day, like now you're spending 4 or 5 hours a day on bullshit tasks that a robot could do for you. Right? And you have no measurement, right? What gets measured gets managed. And so if you're not measuring what your sales team is doing, how do you know who's performing, who's not performing? How do you know where prospects are falling through the cracks? How do you know where you're losing them in the sales journey? How do you know it's a 6-week sales cycle versus a 2-month sales cycle versus a 2-week sales cycle? If you're not measuring any of it because you got your Post-it notes and your spreadsheets that you're writing everything down in, right? We had a sales team that came to us. They're doing $3 million a year, and they were consistently $3 to $4 million every year for like 4 years straight. And they're like, for whatever reason, we can't get to $5 million. So I jump in there. They have 12, 13 sales reps. And day one, I flew to their location. And all I did, and you walk into the office, it's all lit up. Everybody's cheering, blah, 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 making sales. Boards are going crazy. Everybody looks like they're productive and killing it. I'm quietly like a fucking creep sitting at everybody's desk, just watching what they're doing on an hour-by-hour basis, rep by rep by rep by rep.
What industry? General industry?
Real estate.
Okay.
And so every person had Post-its and literally follow up with this person, walk to their friend's desk, stick it on their monitor. That was their follow-up system. How are they tracking it? I have a spreadsheet, and I'm literally talking to them like, hey, so explain those leads to me. And they're going, well, and then I do this and oh shit, I was supposed to call him back yesterday. Hold on a second. I'm like, okay. So we automated we didn't automate anything else in their business. We literally just automated the sales team, their whole sales system, a sales pipeline, tracking, the stages of their sales cycle, tracking like automation that needs to go out, text messages, phone calls, emails, tasks. And we plugged the whole sales team into there. And then I spent a week training them how to use it. Every single person, now remember this 12, 13 person sales team, every single person got 20 plus hours a week back.
Wow.
What happens when you give your entire sales team, right? This is
hours.
200 plus hours per week that I just gave back to their sales team. They went to 10 million in 45 days. And we fired 3 people because now I have the data. I can see who's doing the job and who's not.
Yeah.
So not only did they over triple revenue, but they also cut the team by 3 members.
Damn.
From automating one piece of the business.
And I think that's some of the missed expectations of people is they feel like they have to go all in. They feel like they're like, I got to redo the whole thing.
And we do, but we're going to do it into chunks, right? Like,
it's interesting because we've actually removed automation. There's actually been times where we pulled something off and said, that's not something we want to do. So for example, you mentioned proposals. We were automating proposals pretty heavily. We stopped doing that. And we stopped doing that because we were trying to offer, and one of our staff says all the time, diagnosis without prognosis is malpractice. We were trying to jump the gun a little bit on stuff. And we started finding out like that proposal that was the standard one just wasn't hitting all the needs of everybody. And so we started writing custom ones and started noticing a difference in that we were getting more proposals signed if we wrote them custom.
Well, yeah, because unless it's a flagship offer where you're literally cookie cutter, everybody gets this thing.
There's going to be adjustments to it.
You can't automate.
Because I think that's the fear for some people is that they're like, if I'm going to go in on social media, I got to go all in. I'm like, no, you don't.
No, you don't. Start with Facebook. Right. Or start with Instagram. Or start. That's the other thing right here. I think we talked a little bit earlier. Like, what channel? What channel you hang out on right now?
Right.
Oh, Instagram. I don't use any other. Cool.
Good. Hang out there.
Turn Instagram.
Well, there's a reason it's called social media. Like I know there was someone that spoke at Oregon Business Conference who's like a huge LinkedIn person. I hate LinkedIn.
Me too. I post on it, but that's because my team posts for me.
It's like it's just some of it's set up in my social media planner that it gets. So I get like no engagement. I get every DM I get is automated. Yeah, it drives me nuts. It's like everyone is excited about the most recent announcement that they're doing that doesn't affect anyone else. Like it drives me nuts. I know people that have gotten really into Blue Sky, and I'm like, okay, have fun.
Cool. Have fun. Our Truth Social.
Truth Social. Or,
Threads, the most useless platform.
Dude, Threads cracks me up because I'll accidentally post on it and come back and like people will be fighting in my comments.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, this is great fun. Yeah, I couldn't agree more with that. And this is true of everything, but whatever you're passionate about, wherever you hang out at, like just be all there.
Yeah, turn that into a math problem first. Then
interesting.
Then worry about another platform.
Man, I got some work to do now after this conversation. This is all stuff I think a lot of people that will be listening will probably be like, I knew that, but I needed someone to.
But some fucking bro marketer told them to be omnipresent. So I want you guys to put this into perspective, right? Every platform is going to have a different audience, right? Your people are going to be on there, but if you haven't built a presence yet, success is consistency compounded over time, right? And so for you to build on a platform, like how do the platforms get paid? By keeping people on there as long as humanly possible. So think about your TV guide, right? You can literally go on your TV guide, you know what shows are playing exactly at what time. So that's what these algorithms are doing. They're saying, when does Jake post? Well, Jake consistently posts every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. These are the people that he talks to, and he typically posts at 10 a.m. Cool. Now, Jake does that for 3 weeks straight. Now the algorithm says, okay, we can bank on Jake posting at 10 a.m. on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Let's put him in that programming. Right? And then you will notice your reach and start going up as long as you're consistently posting at 10 a.m. Because humans, even if you don't notice it, We're habitual creatures in everything that we do. I guarantee you, go pay attention to yourself next time you take a shower. You do the same thing every single time. When you take a shit, you do the same thing every single
Marv
time.
washes his hair.
Yeah, I wash. I literally every time.
Yeah.
You check your social media at the same day every single time.
Yeah.
Like you don't even notice that you have these patterns that you've built into yourself. But I promise you, if you pay attention to the actions that you do, this is how I became aware. Sam Ovens is one of my coaches that I hired a long time ago. And the first thing he had me do was a time study.
I hate that. And I've done it
I hated it too,
No,
but
it's a time budget.
It's why I stopped smoking weed is because of this time study. Right?
Interesting.
Every 15 minutes every day, like week 1, you don't change anything. You're just writing down what you're doing.
Yeah.
And then you write like a North Star, which is like, this is my ultimate goal of what I want to do. My ultimate goal was working sub 20-hour weeks, which I do that probably now.
Nice.
And then week 2 is you're still writing it down, but now you're categorizing. Does this help me get to my North Star? Does it help me get away from it? Or is it neutral? Like, doesn't affect it either way, right? Writing it down. Week 3 is now you got to categorize it again. Do I have to do this personally? Can a robot do it? And if a robot can't do it,
Can I delegate?
what human do I know that can do it for me?
Yeah.
Right? Well, I discovered I spend over 20 hours a week smoking weed. I was like, fuck, I got a part-time job smoking weed. I didn't even realize it. But this is how I discover what all my days are doing. Now, if I look at my Google Calendar every 30 minutes every day, I know what I'm doing. From waking up, when I wake up, I pray, I meditate, I work out, I take a shower, take a shit, I fucking check my email. Like everything that I do is on my calendar, down to date nights with my wife, hanging out with my kids. You know, because when you're intentional with your time, that's where you actually that discipline is what gives you the freedom. Like it sounds weird, but having the discipline is what gives you the freedom. You got to take the same approach to your business. What are your employees doing on a day-to-day basis? How are they structuring their day? When are they following up with people? What's your non-negotiables that they have to do every single day? Like how many business owners aren't making sales right now, and then you look at their calendar and what they're doing on a day-to-day basis, they're not fucking prospecting at all. They're not running paid traffic. They're not posting any organic. They're not in any groups. They're not running any DMs, and they're fucking wondering why they're not making sales.
Yeah.
And so I think part of it also is coming up with what's the non-negotiable. When I first left Microsoft and I started my own business, I got to $30K a month in less than 90 days. And people are like, how the fuck did you do that? I didn't have a funnel. I didn't have any automated systems. I didn't have a website. You know what I had? I had YouTube and Russell Brunson's Funnel Hacker Cookbook. And I was just teaching people how to build funnels. And I was terrible at it. Like, I was not this big Marv personality. Like, it was, hi guys, my name is Marv, and today we're going to build a funnel. And then silence for 20 minutes while I just share my screen and build this fucking funnel. And then that was an add to cart funnel. But people would still message me and say, Marv, I don't know how you did that in 40 minutes, but I've been trying for 6 hours and I can't figure it out how much for you to do it for me. Right? And I was on Upwork every day, non-negotiable. First thing I did when I wake up is get on my computer for 4 hours straight and write emails. Now, this was a time when ChatGPT didn't exist. There was no AI bots. This was me physically writing proposals for 4 hours straight every single day.
See, that's when people talk about the grind, that's the grind. It's not sitting around at your computer waiting for the phone to ring.
Yeah, it's not fucking going in Canva and coming up with the perfect logo. Or going on TikTok and trying to make the perfect reel. Yeah. If you don't have a following, remember, consistency compounded over time. It's going to take you months of posting on TikTok every fucking day before you make the first sale. So what action can you do right now to make that first sale or make any sale? You got to fucking take shots on goal. Yeah. Which is talking to people. If you do what we do, you can literally go on Google, Look at all the businesses who doesn't have a website or who has a shit website. Oh, let me call them.
Yep.
Fucking 50 people might tell you no, but the 51st person might say, sure, let's take a look at it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I think that as people have gotten more acclimated, maybe this is post-COVID, maybe it was always this way. People don't want to make phone calls, man. They don't want to do the outreach. They're just waiting for people to come to them. And I got a call yesterday from someone who found us online, and they said, my phone stopped ringing. Okay. What do you need? They're like, I need Google ads. I'm like, okay, that's probably true. They probably do need Google ads. They're in a service-based industry, but also, like, what else are you going to do? What else are you going to do to generate
What happens
business,
if I give you 100 phone calls? Yeah, is your business set up to take those 100 phone calls?
People love the idea of growth. They love the idea of it.
Until it
sucks,
hits,
dude.
right?
There's a reason that growing pains is a thing, right? Like, it's like the kid, like, I want to grow taller. I want to play basketball. And you're like, yeah, now my legs hurt because I had a growth spurt. It's so common in business too.
Yeah, we had a client who was the same deal. They as like the real estate company, they came to us. They wanted to hit $1 million plus a year. They were at 600K for a long time, 600, 700, 800 on a good year. They hired multiple agencies prior to working with us. Within 45 days, they hit $1 million. But then they're like, shit, break it, turn the ads off. We can't take any more. I got to hire more guys. We got to buy more trucks. We got to expand the blah, blah, blah. And because over this 4 years of them trying to hit $1 million a year, they never thought of, can we handle $1 million a year?
Actually happens.
You know,
yeah.
But, and also they were burned by so many agencies. They didn't expect us to bump into $1 million in a month and a half. Right. And so that's another reason why I started going further than let me just automate lead acquisition and sales and take a look at the rest of the business as a holistic picture. Because if I flood you, can you handle the flood? Right? Like, are your flood walls in place? Do your retaining walls have support? We have a client we're working with. Now we put $1 million in their pipeline in 1 month. Right? On average, they're getting like 200 to 300K in their pipeline. And, you know, and when I say pipeline, I mean, this is like not just leads coming in that are potential, because a lot of bro marketers like to say, well, yeah, we put $1 million in their pipeline. No, these are just fucking leads that could potentially be $1 million in the pipeline. So this is literally, they had calls with the customers, sent people out to their house, did an inspection, wrote an estimate, 900K in estimate sent.
Wow. In
the pipeline. And then now they're pressuring me like, hey, we need more estimates in the pipeline. I'm like, well, I just tripled what you are fucking used to using. Let's take a look at this. Oh, your sales guy sent the estimate and send a single fucking follow-up after that. Right? Like there's literally nothing in place for after the estimate is sent. So even if I put another $1 million in your pipeline, like how many are you going to actually close? You don't actually need another $1 million in your pipeline. You need to go through the process of what happens after you send an estimate to get that sale over the fucking finish line. And if you're a local service company, don't be lazy. If you don't have any appointments that day, well, what invoices are close by that I can just go knock on every motherfucker's house and see why they're not signing this estimate and moving forward?
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's post-COVID. I don't know what's causing it. Work ethics out the window. I have no idea.
There does seem to be, and I think this is a good topic for us to kind of wrap things up here. There seems to be an interesting, what's the word for it? It's almost like entitlement of business owners that think that because they put in the initial work to start their business, that people owe them money. They owe them business.
Yeah, nobody owes you shit.
No one owes you shit. And you're seeing this too in an economy like ours, where like we've been heavily invested, you know, in, for lack of a better word, like in entertainment industries, right? It could be a lot of different stuff from conventions and festivals and fairs to immersive experience to
masterminds.
We've done axe throwing, like we've done so many different things. They're not even secondary like budgets for households. They're like tertiary. Like people are not like, oh my God, I got to go find my mini golf budget, right? Those really tough, man. It's a tough time to be running a business. And then you're seeing real estate too, high interest rates, you're seeing low inventory, you're seeing people hang on to assets longer because they understand. What approach do you take with people? Like, do you think there's still space to be able to get more, I don't know, just get more of people's pocketbook to show up? I know it's industry specific, but like, what's the linchpin that keeps a company in business versus going, hey, we should probably start wrapping things up?
There's still the universal rule, right? Life is 10% circumstance and 90% reaction, right? This is the circumstance we're in. I choose to not focus on shit I can't control. Like, we're in Oregon. At the revenue rate that we're making, our default tax rate is 47%. I can't do anything about that unless I want to move to Texas or whatever. So what's my reaction to the situation? I need to bring in more revenue where 40% don't fucking matter. I can still live the life I want to live. Well, how do I bring in that business, right? So it's just like, okay, this is your circumstance. And maybe it sucks, maybe it doesn't, right? But I can guarantee you, if you're a fucking American, you have it better than a lot of people in the world. There's people in this world that I say, I'll take your problems right now. Right. You know, and so it's just, how do you react to the situation? What's going to make your business grow is taking shots on goal. It's the boring, unsexy shit that makes your business grow. It's doing the things people are unwilling to do that makes your business grow. All right, just back to my cheesy ass, my cheesy ass fucking CRM acronym. Connect. It's the most important part in a world where people are trying to use AI to replace human interaction. Yeah. Be the one that's supplementing, and you're still calling your customers, seeing how they're doing, sending them fucking gifts, right? Easy win that you can do with your clients. Find out not just about them, but are they married? Do they have kids? Do their kids play sports? What are their kids' birthdays? What are their birthdays? Oh, your kid just had a soccer tournament. Let me send you a fucking pair of soccer cleats or a soccer ball, or, you know, take real interest in the people that you serve, right? Don't call them prospects, call them people. This is your tribe. This is who you are meant to serve. I believe God gave all of us a superpower, right? And if you woke up with air in your lungs today, it's because he's not done with you yet. You still have a purpose on this planet. Now, if you're one of the lucky humans who figured out your purpose, serving people in whatever capacity you serve them, whether you're a personal trainer, a real estate agent, a broker, a plumber, a fucking marketer, actually serve. Be a servant leader. Plant those seeds. Be the example that you want to see in the industry. Just because 47 bro marketers are doing it, don't mean you have to do it that way too. There has to be yin and yang, right? There has to be a shit bro marketer for every good marketer, right? Like you hear some humans are chasing like utopia, right? Like, what if we just had this perfect planet where everybody got along? We wouldn't even know how to recognize it or how to deal with ourselves, right? Because if you've never been miserable, how do you know what happy feels like? Right. And so we need these shit times, because these shit times are going to be what defines when we enter happy times. Like, this is what a happy time looks like. If it was just sunshine and rainbows all the time, life would be pretty fucking boring. Right. And so just how do you react to your situation? Control your reaction, control what is in your control that you can change and do today and make it a non-negotiable. I promise you your business will keep growing.
I love it, man. I think that's a great way for us to wrap things up here, because it's a word of encouragement in a time where a lot of businesses are they're trying to figure out what to do next, man. I mean, we've had conversations with one, even offering like, hey, we can help you close this down in the way that's best because of certain circumstances they're in. Like, there's really hard stuff here. So Big Marv, I can't thank you enough, man. for coming and talking shop here. A lot of good things I got to wrap my head around, and some things too that I need to get back to, man. Some things I need to get back to. So I appreciate kind of the insight on it. So, hey, thanks, man.
No problem.
Awesome.
Good to be here.